How to create meaningful connections with anyone. Creating a meaningful connection with someone, even if they don't seem interested at first, is all about understanding social dynamics, maintaining self-assurance, and approaching interactions with confidence. Many people misinterpret initial hesitation as outright rejection, when in reality, it's often a way of assessing how someone carries themselves. Confidence and a relaxed presence make a strong first impression. If you approach someone with the mindset that their approval is needed, it shifts the energy in a way that can create pressure. Instead, focus on having a natural and engaging conversation where both sides have the opportunity to connect. The key is to avoid overanalyzing the situation. Many people believe they need the perfect words to make an impression, but in reality, the way something is said, through tone, body language, and overall presence, matters far more. A calm and collected approach naturally sets the right tone. Something simple and direct, like "You seem interesting, so I wanted to come say hi," keeps things light and open-ended. From there, it's essential to stay composed, regardless of the response. Some people take time to warm up in conversations, and maintaining an easygoing attitude helps keep the interaction comfortable. This approach shifts the dynamic in a way that builds curiosity and creates a natural flow of conversation. That's exactly what this video will cover: how to create engaging interactions, spark genuine interest, and allow connections to develop naturally, even when someone isn't immediately receptive. Before we continue, I have something valuable for those who want to improve their social and relationship skills. I've built a community on Podium where I break everything down step by step, providing practical tools to enhance confidence and create meaningful connections. It's all clear, straightforward advice that you can apply in real situations. Plus, for a limited time, the first 20 people to join will receive a special discount. Don't miss out. Click the link in the description to secure your spot, and if you know someone who could benefit from this, feel free to share it with them. Having the right mindset is essential when it comes to making a strong impression. Confidence isn't just appealing, it's a key factor in how connections are formed. When someone carries themselves with certainty and self-assurance, it naturally draws others in. On the other hand, if you approach an interaction with hesitation or the need for validation, it can create an imbalance where one person is placed on a pedestal. The best approach is to shift your mindset from "I hope they like me" to "Let's see if we connect." A common mistake is trying too hard to gain approval, overcompensating, over-explaining, or focusing too much on pleasing someone. This can sometimes have the opposite effect. Instead, it's essential to maintain a balanced perspective, showing through your attitude and presence that you have value, regardless of how someone responds. If someone seems indifferent at first, it's not necessarily a rejection, it could simply be a natural reaction to new interactions. Staying composed and not reacting emotionally allows the conversation to develop naturally. If they give short responses, remaining unbothered and continuing in a relaxed way creates a more comfortable dynamic. If they ask why you approach them, a simple and direct response, like "You caught my attention, so I wanted to say hi," is enough. Giving space for natural pauses, instead of rushing to fill silence, can help create a more engaging interaction. Another key factor in mindset is having a sense of abundance. People who struggle with social interactions often focus too much on one person. By having a sense of abundance, you can approach interactions with a more relaxed and confident attitude, knowing that there are many people out there with whom you can connect. By adopting this mindset and approach, you can create meaningful connections with others, even if they don't seem interested at first. Remember, it's all about being confident, relaxed, and genuine in your interactions. With practice and patience, you can develop the skills to create engaging interactions and build strong connections with others. When you find yourself in a situation where every interaction could potentially lead to a connection, it's easy to feel a bit anxious. However, If you can relax and approach these interactions with confidence, you'll notice a significant difference. Someone who isn't overly concerned about whether another person is interested in them often comes across as more intriguing. This mindset is particularly beneficial in situations where interest isn't reciprocated. If someone isn't interested, it doesn't reflect on your worth, it's simply a matter of personal preference. People with confidence understand this and don't let it affect them. Being able to walk away from an interaction without stress projects self-assurance, and ironically, this is often what makes others more curious. Ultimately, attraction isn't about saying the perfect thing, it's about the energy you bring into a conversation. When you cultivate a mindset of self-assurance, you naturally draw others in. Instead of focusing on whether someone likes you, you create a dynamic where both sides get to see if there's a genuine connection. This simple shift in mindset makes all the difference. Many people approach social interactions with unnecessary pressure, overthinking their words, hesitating, or carrying nervous energy. This often shifts the balance of the conversation and makes the other person feel like they're being placed on a pedestal, which can create discomfort or disinterest. First impressions are shaped more by body language and tone than by the actual words used. A confident, relaxed presence is what makes someone stand out from the start. Walking with purpose, maintaining good posture, and making natural eye contact before speaking helps set the right tone. If someone notices you before you even say anything, that's often a positive sign. It means they're already aware of your presence, which can naturally build curiosity. Confidence is about clarity and ease, not about trying too hard. Hesitation can sometimes signal uncertainty, which might make the interaction feel awkward. Keeping things simple and direct allows for a more natural flow. A straightforward opening line, such as, "You seem interesting, so I wanted to come say hi," is often enough. There's no need for rehearsed phrases or complex conversation starters. What matters is the delivery. A calm and controlled tone, rather than rushing or speaking too loudly, conveys self-assurance. People naturally respond to someone who speaks as if they are comfortable in their own presence. After saying something, allowing a moment of pause rather than immediately filling the silence gives space for a natural response. Many people make the mistake of talking too much due to a fear of quiet moments, but well-placed pauses create a sense of engagement and attentiveness. If the initial response is short or neutral, staying composed is key. Instead of reacting nervously or trying harder to fill the space, maintaining a confident and easygoing attitude allows the conversation to develop at its own pace. Playful statements or observations can help move the conversation forward. For example, instead of asking predictable questions like, "What are you doing here?" a more engaging comment such as, "You seem like you have a too cool for this place vibe, am I right?" invites a more dynamic response. Conversations flow better when they feel natural rather than structured like an interview. Instead of asking a series of back-to-back questions, making thoughtful or light-hearted observations creates a back-and-forth dynamic that keeps both people involved. Another important factor is knowing when to end the conversation on a positive note rather than lingering too long. Wrapping things up confidently helps maintain intrigue. Saying something like, "Have to get back to my friends, but let's continue," is a great way to end the conversation. A phrase like, "We should pick this up later, how can I reach you?" helps keep the conversation easygoing and open-ended, without putting the other person on the spot. Making a strong first impression isn't about delivering a flawless line, it's about creating an exchange that feels smooth, genuine, and enjoyable. When it comes to keeping someone interested during a conversation, the goal isn't to fill every moment with chit-chat. Instead, focus on sparking curiosity through a dynamic exchange that feels organic and stimulating. One common misstep is dominating the conversation or leaning on overused questions. This can make the interaction feel stale or routine. What really makes a conversation stand out is a touch of playfulness, genuine curiosity, and letting things unfold naturally. Rather than presenting a list of accomplishments or working too hard to impress, it's more compelling to let your personality and value reveal themselves over time. Viewing the conversation as a mutual discovery, where both people are getting to know each other, creates a balanced and reciprocal energy. For instance, if asked what you do for a living, instead of a standard reply, you could respond with something light-hearted like, "That's top secret. If I told you, you might disappear." This kind of playful answer often encourages further questions and keeps things lively. Another way to deepen engagement is by shifting from purely factual conversation to something a bit more emotionally resonant. Swap out routine questions like, "Where are you from?" with something more intriguing like, "You have this intriguing world traveler vibe, am I warm?" This simple tweak makes the dialogue feel more spontaneous and personal, inviting a richer response. Memorable conversations often involve a touch of light-hearted tension, a fun back and forth rather than a monologue. Balancing sincere compliments with a bit of teasing can add charm. If someone shares something cool, try saying, "Okay, you're cooler than I thought, I had my doubts at first." It keeps things playful and unpredictable. You can also add flavor to the chat through humorous misunderstandings. Say someone mentions they love traveling, you might reply, "Oh, so you're one of those people chasing perfect Instagram shots across the globe." The aim isn't to make them uncomfortable, but to inject humor and keep the vibe energetic. When people associate a conversation with laughter and enjoyment, they're far more likely to stay engaged. And just as important as keeping the energy high is knowing when to exit gracefully. A frequent mistake is lingering too long when the conversation is flowing, hoping to further solidify the connection. But leaving on a high note is often more impactful. If the exchange has been positive, that's a great time to say something like, "This was fun, we should definitely continue later." What's the best way to stay in touch? Ending on a good note keeps the mood upbeat and leaves the other person anticipating your next interaction. In the end, great conversations aren't about delivering one dazzling line after another. They're about creating a space where both people feel relaxed and engaged. When the exchange is easy, mutual, and genuine, it becomes something meaningful, and often, something worth repeating. Building attraction isn't just about what you say. It's about how someone feels during and after talking to you, curious, energized, and excited to connect again. People aren't attracted to each other purely through logic, they connect emotionally and through presence. A common misstep is maintaining interactions that are overly neutral or excessively friendly, hoping that interest will naturally grow. However, genuine chemistry sparks when there's a sense of anticipation and curiosity. One of the most powerful ways to foster this connection is through eye contact and body language. The way someone looks at another person can dramatically alter the tone of an interaction. Many individuals either avoid eye contact too frequently, signaling nervousness, or hold it for too long, which can feel intense. The trick is to find a balance, maintaining confident eye contact while allowing natural pauses. A subtle glance before returning to direct eye contact can create a sense of engagement without uttering a word. Physical proximity also plays a significant role. Starting at a comfortable distance and gradually moving slightly closer as the conversation progresses can help build a natural sense of connection. If the other person doesn't pull away, it's usually a sign of comfort and interest. Rather than waiting for the other person to close the distance, guiding the interaction with confidence makes the moment feel more organic. Another crucial aspect of chemistry is the right kind of touch, subtle and natural rather than forced. Some people make the mistake of keeping things too formal, while others misread the situation and move too quickly. The best approach is to keep things light and gradual. If a moment feels right, like during a shared laugh, a brief touch on the arm can make the interaction feel more personal. Small, natural gestures, like a light touch on the back when leading through a crowded space, help build a sense of ease. The key is to always be aware of the other person's comfort level. If they start initiating touch as well, it's often a strong indicator of mutual interest. Tone of voice also plays a major role in how an interaction feels. Instead of speaking too quickly or with too much energy, slowing down and lowering the tone slightly can make words feel more intentional. When playfully responding to something, a subtle shift in tone, like slowing down for emphasis, can make the moment feel more engaging. A simple, confident response with the right delivery can have more impact than any scripted line. Finally, one of the most effective ways to maintain interest is by allowing anticipation to build rather than rushing the interaction. When moments of connection happen naturally, stepping back slightly and allowing the other person to lean in creates a sense of excitement. The most memorable interactions are the ones that leave people wanting more, not the ones that try to force a connection too quickly. Keeping things light, confident, and engaging makes the interaction feel effortless and leaves a lasting impression. People are naturally drawn to those who bring excitement and unpredictability into their lives. When interactions feel fresh, engaging, and a little uncertain, they become more intriguing. If someone always reacts the same way, it becomes easy to predict their responses, which can reduce interest over time. The key is to maintain a sense of spontaneity, creating moments that keep conversations engaging and dynamic. A common mistake is being too predictable. If someone always agrees, laughs at everything, or gives non-stop compliments, they might come across as too easy to figure out. A balance of warmth and playfulness creates more engaging interactions. For example, instead of automatically praising someone, adding a bit of playful teasing can make conversations more lively. If someone talks about an accomplishment, instead of instantly expressing admiration, you might say, "Wow, that's impressive. How did you manage that?" This approach keeps the conversation dynamic and interesting. A light-hearted rejoinder such as "Is that the best you've got? You have to step up your game to impress me," adds a playful challenge to the conversation, keeping it lively and engaging. Balancing moments of intrigue with a touch of whimsical detachment can make interactions more captivating. While it's crucial to offer sincere compliments and express gratitude, incorporating a hint of challenge can make conversations more stimulating. For instance, if someone chuckles at your joke, rather than simply smiling, you could respond with, "Well, laugh is infectious, but don't get too cocky, I'm not that easy to please." This adds a layer of intrigue, keeping the interaction light and engaging. Keeping things fresh by varying the energy and tone of the conversation is also key. People connect through emotions, not just logic, so alternating between humor, depth, and curiosity can make conversations more compelling. For example, starting with a confident, upbeat tone and then segueing into a more reflective comment like, "You're more intriguing than I anticipated," keeps the interaction unpredictable. These shifts create a sense of exhilaration and make conversations more memorable. Ultimately, the most captivating exchanges are those that evoke a range of emotions: laughter, curiosity, surprise, and intrigue. When conversations feel dynamic and unpredictable, they leave a lasting impression. The goal is to create an experience that feels exciting, keeping interactions engaging and leaving people eager to continue the conversation. Exuding confidence and demonstrating leadership skills naturally make a person stand out. People are typically drawn to individuals who take charge, make decisions without hesitation, and provide direction in conversations. This isn't about control, but rather self-assurance and the ability to guide discussions and experiences in an engaging manner. A common pitfall is continuously seeking approval before making a move, which can sometimes come off as indecisive. Instead of hesitating, a more confident approach is to assume the answer will be affirmative. For example, instead of asking, "Can I sit here?" a more assertive statement would be, "This looks like the prime spot, I'm taking it." The difference lies in the delivery. A self-assured demeanor naturally attracts others. Taking control of a conversation is another way to display confidence. Rather than providing mundane answers, steering the discussion towards a more engaging topic keeps things interesting. If someone asks about your profession, a creative response like "I could reveal my top secret job, but then I'd have to make you sign a confidentiality agreement." Let's talk about something more exciting. What's the most spontaneous adventure you've ever embarked on? Shifts the conversation's energy in an exciting way. Keeping conversations dynamic and full of surprises creates a more engaging experience. Decision-making is another crucial trait that indicates confidence. If asked where to dine, rather than responding with uncertainty, a firm yet friendly answer like, "Let's go for sushi, you adore it," streamlines the decision-making process. Being able to make choices without hesitation creates a sense of ease in interactions. Confidence also involves standing by one's values and personality without feeling compelled to alter oneself for others. When faced with challenges or playful tests, a confident individual maintains composure and responds with a relaxed attitude, keeping the interaction positive. A commanding presence doesn't mean overpowering others. It's about creating an atmosphere where people feel both excited and at ease. Ultimately, leadership, confidence, and decisiveness are qualities that naturally garner attention and respect. When someone carries themselves with self-assurance, creating a compelling and memorable presence in any interaction involves a natural balance that people tend to appreciate. When individuals feel they have earned something through effort, the experience often becomes more meaningful and rewarding. Conversely, if something is handed over too easily, it might lack the same sense of value. Instead of constantly seeking validation or approval, shifting the dynamic of your interactions can lead to more balanced and engaging exchanges. A common mistake many make is treating someone as if they are more important than they truly are, which can unintentionally shift the energy of the interaction. This often results in one person becoming overly accommodating or eager to please, which can diminish the natural flow. The best approach is to maintain a healthy sense of self-worth and avoid feeling the need to prove yourself. Keeping things lighthearted and playful can make conversations feel more genuine and relaxed. For example, you might say, "You seem interesting, but I'm still figuring you out," or "You have a cool vibe, but I can't tell if you're the type to keep things fun or enjoy a little chaos." These kinds of comments add an element of intrigue and help both people get to know each other on equal footing. Being too available all the time can also reduce the excitement of an interaction. When someone responds instantly or is constantly accessible, it can lessen the anticipation and make the connection feel less special. Instead, preserving your personal time and space naturally sparks more interest. A simple change in how you respond can make a big difference. For instance, instead of replying with, "I'm not doing much, what about you?" you might say, "I've got a few things planned, but I might make some time for you later." This subtly communicates that your time is valuable without overdoing it. Keeping interactions dynamic is another effective way to sustain interest. If every conversation follows the same pattern, it can become predictable and dull. Mixing things up, alternating between warm, engaging moments and periods of slight distance, keeps the energy fresh. For example, after a fun chat, taking a little time before replying again can make the interaction feel more meaningful. If someone asks why you were quiet for a bit, a playful response like, "Oh, I was just caught up in life, miss me," adds a light, fun touch while maintaining balance. Allowing things to unfold naturally, rather than rushing to define the relationship or situation too early, can also keep interactions enjoyable. If someone asks, "So, what are we?" a good response might be, "Let's just enjoy the moment and see where it takes us," which shifts the focus to the experience rather than creating unnecessary pressure. Ultimately, the key to engaging interactions is confidence, staying true to yourself, keeping things interesting, and letting connections develop organically over time. When both people invest equally, the relationship becomes more rewarding and enjoyable. Building strong connections involves maintaining self-assurance, being authentic, and allowing the interaction to flow naturally. By leading conversations, keeping things lively, and creating memorable moments, you foster mutual interest and excitement. Instead of chasing validation or constantly trying to impress, focus on your time, presence, and the organic growth of the connection. A healthy balance of availability, playfulness, and unpredictability keeps interactions fresh and engaging. If you're interested in enhancing your communication skills and relationships, my community is now open. Many have asked for this, and it's finally here. The first 20 members to join will receive an exclusive discount. Check the link in the description for more details. I appreciate your support, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.